Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of College Ball with J Dog. I'm your host, J Dog, also known as Justin. Got a show lined up for y'all today. As always, been doing good. I ain't missed a show in like 2 weeks. When I do miss one, I apologize, y'all. Like I got work, family, baby, another kid. Life's hectic, but I try to find time every day to do this for y'all. So y'all do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe button. When you hit that bell, go up, click all. It'll help you get my videos. And make sure you get in the comment section. Tell me what you think about the videos, what you hate about the videos. It don't matter. Just get in there and say something for me. All right. We got 25 days till kickoff. You know, every video starts with the countdown. It's so close. We can taste it. We can smell it. Watching old games just to help me get through. Playing a little bit of college football 26. I'm pretty sure I seen something where they updated the game today and the new Smoky Grays are on there. So I might try that out here in a little bit if the baby lets me. All right. So here's what we got lined up today, y'all. We got Pavia can't keep his mouth shut. We got Blurgate's been solved. If you don't know Blurgate, I'll explain it when we get there. Fall camp day 5. We got early lines for the Vols' first 4 games to go over. Without further ado, let's get into it. Y'all grab you a drink, grab you a snack, kick back, relax. Let me get you through it. We'll start with Pavia. This kid had a hell of a season last year, but he's really starting to get on my nerves. I kind of pulled for him last year, and now starting to hope he loses every game. Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia gave another crazy quote in an interview during Netflix series SEC Football Any Given Saturday. We can beat Tennessee literally any given Saturday. Fuck every single one of them dudes, you know? He's been very loud this summer, just like I says. They're going to run Tennessee. They're the best school in the state. They're this, they're that. Now they can beat us any day. But yet, he's saying that after we beat them at home. He's a good player. I don't know if he's took too many licks to the head or what, but damn, we live rent-free in that boy's head, y'all. Maybe he'll shut us up this year. I don't know why he wants to keep giving us stuff to make us want to go out there and knock his head off again. You think you'd sit there and be quiet and let your play do the talking and then run your mouth if you beat us this year. He's running his mouth like they whooped our ass last year. Yeah, you beat Alabama, you beat Auburn, but you didn't beat Tennessee. So maybe you should keep our name out of your mouth and talk about Alabama and Auburn. Talk about how you're Alabama state champs or something. I couldn't believe that when I seen it. Doesn't surprise me with him. After he got on busting with the boys, running his mouth about how they're going to run the state and this and that and blah, 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 blah. If you ain't seen it, you can pull the clip up. I mean, it's everywhere. Up next, I want to go over Blurgate. If you ain't seen Blurgate, in this picture right here, if you look in the background to the right, you'll see there's a player blurred. There's a video of this. I just took a screenshot for you. This ball got intercepted. The guy throwing the ball got blurred out. People went crazy. Even other teams' fan bases, all these college pages. Oh, Tennessee's quarterbacks must suck. Blah, blah. What's Tennessee trying to hide? They're blurring out the guy throwing the ball. Well, turns out we blurred it out because it's tight end Miles Kitselman throwing the ball. He's been in non-contact, so maybe the coach is just trying to keep him involved, keep him feeling good. I don't know. But they blurred it out because it was the daggone tight end to throw the ball. Maybe we're working on a trick play or something. Maybe they're working on a trick play and just didn't want the other team to know who's throwing the ball. I don't know. There's either Austin Price or Brent Hubbs from VolQuest that spilled the tea there and let us know who it was that threw the ball. I personally wish they wouldn't have. I think it's hilarious. People went crazy over it. So, Blurgate's been solved. It was your tight end, Miles Kitselman, y'all. Who would have thought it'd be a tight end they blurred out? Not me. All right, we're going to get in fall camp, y'all. I screenshot these. I don't read them, so we're going over them together, so I'll give you my honest opinion as we go. What I think, what's going on, all that good stuff. Mike Matthews returned to football practice, but wide receiver Braylon Staley was sidelined. So, got Matthews back, Staley sidelined. I think we're being very cautious with these guys. Because wide receiver is the one position we don't have a lot of depth at. We got a lot of stars, we got a lot of studs there, a lot of highly rated guys, but we don't have a lot of depth. So I think anytime a receiver tweaks anything in fall camp, they're going to be out for a day or two. I didn't even think Mike Matthews would be back, but he's back, so he obviously, whatever he tweaked couldn't have been nothing bad at all. Braylon Staley's out. Pretty sure it's a minor. I'm sure he'll be back in a couple days. Right there saying same thing. Matthews missed a practice. Chris Brazel's still missing practice, which isn't news. They've already said 100 times. He'll be back next week. So I don't even know. That's not really newsworthy, but if you've missed any of the other videos, Chris Brazel, he's been out. He'll be back next week. So when he gets back, Braylon Staley probably be back in a day or two. We'll be back to full strength at receiver, which is good. Get whoever's going to start the most reps they can with the starters, and I do think that'll be Aguilar. Once again, UT only had 5 healthy receivers at practice. Yes, Mike Matthews, redshirt freshman Amari Jefferson, Travis Smith, Darius Jackson, and Joakim Dotson. Those last 3 are all true freshmen. Amari Jefferson, he was committed to the baseball team. Nick Saban come calling. Saban left. He played for DeBoer last year, and he come back home. He's from Chattanooga. He's a ball. Then he decommitted, went to Bama to play football. Now he's back home where he's supposed to be. Redshirt freshman tight end. Cole Harrison did not practice today. Freshman edge. Christian Gass was working off to the side with staffers. Not wearing a helmet. Joshua Joseph was not at practice while the media was on hand for the 3rd straight day, as he is day to day, likely for the next week or so. Mike Matthews returned Sunday after missing Sunday. Fellow wideout Braylon Staley is okay. Cornerback Ricky Gibson was not at practice either while the media was present. Look, while the media is present, they don't get to see a lot, y'all. They see 30 minutes of 2-hour practice. Cole Harrison, he probably, he might see the field in mop-up duty this year against some backup teams. Against some of the bad teams we play, like ETSU. About everybody on the roster is going to play that game. So that's not a big blow. Ricky Gibson, hopefully his is minor because he's one of the starting corners, the other side of Javon McCoy. So hopefully his is just a little day-to-day thing, which is we also brought in Colton Hood, which is what this says. The corner rotation was Colton Hood, Jalen McMurray, followed by Tyler Redmond and William Wright. Colton Hood was a huge get. Just for Javon McCoy may not be healthy at the start of the season. And I think he's the best corner in football, but Colton Hood can slide right in there. He played at Colorado last year as a big get in the offseason for us in the transfer portal. Here's the big news everybody's probably wanting to hear. Boo Carter back in the fold today. He practiced, has helmet, shoulder pads. I think his punishment's about over. He's working a star and cornerback. McMurray was. Jalen McMurray was working the starting quarterback. Boo Carter works the star. Supposed to play some offense this year, return kicks, punts, all that. He's going to be a Mr. Everything this year. I'm glad he's got his helmet and stuff back. Hopefully he learned his lesson. Don't give us no more trouble. When the first group drilled together, it was McMurray and Hood at corner, Idris Farouk and Turrentine at safety, and Carter at star. Caleb Beasley was also rotating in as safety as well. Beasley was receiving some praise this morning. Turrentine has one safety locked down. Beasley and Farouk are battling for the other one. All three quarterbacks threw the ball well. Jake Merklinger was getting the first reps. That's followed by Aguilar. Aguilar had to go pro, and then George McIntyre. So the quarterbacks bounced back, y'all. They had a rough day the other day. Sorry, I still got some of that throat stuff going on. Where I was sick. The routes on air portion was going into the end zone from the 10-yard line. Merklinger probably looked the best throwing the football, though no quarterback was bad. We didn't see any drops by the wideouts, tight ends. While we were out there, just a few balls that could have been caught, but no drops. The wideouts continued to work with tennis balls in between reps. Aguilar showed good touch on the football for back pylon fades. Okay. If there are some balls that should have been caught, how is there no drops? If you get your hands on a ball and you don't catch it, that's a drop. So I'm not sure. If there are some balls that should have been caught, there was obviously drops. So that's kind of redundant there. You just never know with these practice reports. Everybody tells you a different story. Like the other day, they talked about how bad it was, and then somebody talked about how it was not that bad. I'm just reading what these guys tell us. So quarterbacks look good today. Apparently no drops. So that'd mean every quarterback completed every pass, which would be awesome. I remember T. Martin back in the day. A few years ago, he said in 1998, they went like 3 or 4 weeks without a ball hitting the ground in practice, which is absolutely crazy. But, I mean, you can't expect that these days, really. One player that stood out this morning was Amari Jefferson. And then you continue to ask about him. And to this point in the spring, he had not flashed. He did that on Tuesday morning. With Staley not practicing, Jefferson had increased reps from the slot. He made a pair of really nice catches in the period. And that was one-handed after coming in motion to the other side of the field for a flat route. Amari Jefferson was a highly rated guy, y'all. I mean, he's committed to us in baseball. And Nick Saban wanted him. That should tell you all you need to know. He ended up going to Bama. Played for DeBoer last year. Didn't play much because he was hurt. So he's a redshirt freshman. Glad he's back home. Talented kid. I think he'll see the field a lot this year with their wide receiver depth. Both freshmen, Jack Van Dorselaer and Deshaun Brame, look good running routes into the end zone from the 10-yard line. On the offensive line, Sam Pendleton continues to get work at center alongside William Satterwhite. So if Pendleton starts at center, Umarov will start at right guard. If Satterwhite starts at center, then Pendleton will start at right guard. Leading the lines in routes on air were Travis Smith Jr., Joakim Dotson slot, and redshirt junior Trey Weary. Freshman tight end Deshaun Brame made a pretty sick one-handed catch in the back corner of the end zone. And on an out-and-up route, it was on the far side of the field, so couldn't tell if he got toe down in bounds. It was an impressive snag nonetheless, and he had to adjust the body to make it. Deshaun Brame's going to be a beast, y'all. I mean, that's all there is to it. He is a highly rated guy. He's one of the top tight ends in the country. When his commitment day come, we thought we had him in the bag. He ended up committing to Oregon. Oregon threw crazy money at him. His girlfriend plays volleyball or soccer here. He's committed to Oregon for like 3 or 4 weeks. Decided he wanted to be here. So he flipped. I'm glad he's here because maybe not this year because we got some depth to tight end, but definitely starting next year, he's going to be a dog in this offense. The tight end group continues to look really athletic, really good athletically and catching the football. That starts with Kitson, Ethan Davis, and freshman Jack Van Dorselaer. Moves really well and catches the ball naturally, too. He didn't even mention the Son Brame there. Another thing I wanted to go over, Carson Snead decommitted. He went to North Carolina. His brother played here last year as a walk-on. He transferred. The writing was kind of on the wall there. On the ball groups I'm on, Ball for Life Uncensored, the one where they told me to quit posting my low-quality videos at. A couple guys on there was talking about how Snead's overrated, this, that. Don't be that guy when we lose somebody. When he committed, everybody's talking about, oh, we got a stud, we got a stud, we got a stud. Then when people decommit, people all of a sudden start, oh, we didn't want them. They're overrated. No. He's a good player. He's probably going to be a stud in North Carolina. I hated to lose him. Kid grew up dreaming of being a ball, gets the chance, and then flips. Don't make much sense. But hey, a lot of things 18-year-old kids do don't make sense. I hope it's the right decision for him. The best catch by the receivers was a one-handed snag by Alabama transfer Amari Jefferson. He was second in line in the slot behind Joakim Dotson. Freshman Travis Smith Jr., Ray Darius Jackson also had some good reps during this work. Lance Hurd, Jeremiah Hurd, and Bennett Warren were all working at left tackle. Lance Hurd just started at left tackle. Jeremiah Hurd and Bennett Warren, they're seeing who's going to be the backup. And I think Bennett Warren could be the backup at right tackle and left tackle. Overall, it's a much crispier route on air portion. There were no true drops, so a couple of passes could have been caught. The very few balls hit the ground, which is a good step in the right direction. So on the other videos, I said we don't need to overreact to this stuff because it's early. We're still getting timing down. They're still getting used to their receivers, getting to the spots, this, that. You know how football works, so I'm glad they're starting to crisp up. Hopefully it keeps going in that direction. We don't have a day where we revert back to missing passes and a lot of drops. Merklinger completed 9 of 10 passes, while Aguilar completed all 9 of his pass attempts. McIntyre struggled after finishing last week strong, completing the score of 8 attempts. So Merklinger and Aguilar are battling it out, it sounds like. Every day they're right there with each other. I still think Aguilar is going to win the job just based off his experience. Not saying Merklinger can't play, but Aguilar's got 5 years under his belt. Merklinger's a second-year freshman, so I just think Aguilar pulls it out. Clicked the wrong one. Apologize about that. And we couldn't need Merklinger this year. Aguilar plays like a dog. He will run through people. You never know. I mean, all quarterbacks need to be prepared. Merklinger's long incompletion was a slide overthrow that Miles Kitson could have hauled in, but I wouldn't classify it as a drop. There are a few throws behind receivers that would have almost certainly been incomplete with defense. That included Merklinger pass to Travis Smith Jr., Joey Aguilar pass to Amari Jefferson, where he made the one-handed catch. Tight end to Son Brame. Done seen that. He had a fantastic catch from four-string Mason Phillips. Joakim Johnson also caught a beautiful ball on a fade route by Merklinger. Lance Hurd and Jeremiah Hurd worked at left tackle. David Sanders and Bennett Warren worked at right tackle. See, sometimes you get conflicting stuff. Earlier it said Bennett Warren worked at left tackle too. This one said he worked at right tackle. Lance Hurd, David Sanders are your starters. Jeremiah Hurd might be the backup at left tackle. Bennett Warren's definitely going to be the backup at right tackle. I can see Bennett Warren coming in for either guy if they get hurt or need a breather. The fourth linebacker competition is one that intrigues me right now. I consider Burns to be the favorite to round out the two deep with Darion Carter, Jeremiah T. Lander, and Aaron Smith. But I'm not counting out Jaden Perlotte, Jaden Harmon in that discussion. Perlotte and Harmon are freshmen. One of them we flipped from Alabama. One of them we flipped from USC. Perlotte was the one from USC. He was also committed to Georgia. So both of them are highly rated guys. Heupel just keeps creeping that talent level up a little bit every year. If you don't know what the blue chip ratio is, you can't win a title. Or nobody has won a title with less than 50% blue chip ratio. We're at 53% this year. And that's the highest we've been at since like 2006, something crazy like that. And if this next recruiting class goes the way it's looking like it's going to, we could be all the way up to 60-some% next year. Heupel's building the program the right way. And he's still already got 2 10-plus win seasons under his belt. So, this team's talented, y'all. A lot of it's going to come down to who the quarterback is and can the offense be a little more explosive than it was last year. I personally think it will be. I think Aguilar, one of his biggest strengths is his deep ball. If you go back and watch any of his tape at Appalachian State, he puts that deep ball on the money. Something we struggled with last year with Nico and the year before Joe Milton. But Nico only hit 17% of deep balls last year, y'all. If we could just get that number to like 50%, that's going to be another touchdown or so a game. And that'd be huge. So we had games last year where we could have beat Alabama by 2 or 3 touchdowns at least if Nico just hit deep balls down the field. He had 3 or 4 wide open guys for touchdowns and overthrew every one of them. We ended up having to pull it off at the end. I like that we started practice off fast today. Like I said, media only sees the first 25, 30 minutes. But last year, there were a 4 or 5 game stretch there where we didn't score in the first half. So I like starting fast. We're going to have to start fast this year. We had a lot of good games last year that come down to the end. That could have been a little more breathing room if we could have got things flowing a little early. So I do like to see that after a couple of days of starting slow. The last thing I want to go over is these Vegas lines for y'all. I don't know if any of y'all are gamblers, but the first 4 games have lines, so we're going to go over them. Syracuse were 13.5-point favorites. Georgia were 7.5-point dogs. Bama were 12.5-point dogs. Florida were 4-point dogs. This is from Freak off of All Nation. Syracuse 13.5. I like us in the points there. Georgia plus 7.5. I think that's pretty close. I'd give Georgia probably plus 6, plus 5. You get 3.5 points to being the home team. I think we're finally going to get Georgia, but I get why Vegas ain't going to favor us because Georgia's Georgia. The one that I think is easy money right now is the 12.5 you're getting at Bama, y'all. Even with Joe Milton, we had him. We was up 27. We ended up losing by 14. But I don't think his team is as talented as that last team that we went on the road and played. They are talented. I don't think their quarterback play is as good. Even a lot of Alabama fans didn't like Milroe, but Milroe, when he could run, was hard to handle. So if you're a betting man, I'd take that 12.5 right now before it drops. Before that game gets closer, it'll probably be a little lower. Then Florida +4. I can't argue with that. I think that'll probably be about a pick-em game when we get there. So what are y'all's thoughts on those? The best value on there, I think, is taking us +12.5 versus Bama. Y'all tell me what you think. Do you think 13.5 is too high against Syracuse? Do you think 7.5 is too high against Georgia? Bama, Florida. Tell me what you think about those. I would take the points for Syracuse. I'd take us beat them by 14 or more. I'd take the points against Georgia. I think that one's going to be about a 3 to 6 point game. I'd take the points against Bama. I think that one's going to be a close one. And the Florida one, I'd stay away from right now and just see what that line is the closer it gets. That's the show for today. If you made it this far, you're an OG. Make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. And as always, go Vols, baby.